state of Israel has been hiding this from you for centuries, and it's time for them to be exposed. Now, you probably heard about the war between Israel and Palestine and all of the corruptions that is in it. But this hidden secret that the state of Israel has been hiding from you is way more worse. Let's dig deep. Now, some of you may know about Israel being exiled by the Roman Empire in 70 AD. During this exile, the people of Yisrael, aka Israel, were being persecuted by the Romans. So they fled from the Roman persecution. Now, most of the mainstream history teaches us that they fled north, deeper into Roman territories. But why would they flee deeper into the land of the people who's persecuting them? It just don't make sense. Well, that's because they didn't. They fled into Africa, the same place they were before they moved into the promised land. The same place that Moshe, known as Moses, got his Ethiopian wife from. Even the fact that Noah's great-grandfather Enoch's book was referred to as the Ethiopic Book of Enoch before James Bruce stole it in the 17th century and renamed it. Also, the most oldest and complete Bible comes from Ethiopia.
Hey, go back to the point.
Alright, my fault. But don't take my word for it. History shows that they migrated to Africa. For example, the history of the Limba people, the Igbo Jews in Nigeria, the Ethiopian Jews. The list goes on. Not only that, but the maps dated prior to the 16th century says that the Kingdom of Judah was in Africa. In the modern world, that's located somewhere in between Ghana and Lagos. Now let's put that to the side real quick and let's take a detour into Spain. Buckle up, the rabbit hole get deep. Now the Jews in Spain, they were thriving big time, keeping true to their cultural beliefs, and they were thriving economically. King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella, they wasn't having it. They was some hating that nigga. So they persecuted the Jews for not converting to Christianity and declared a Spanish Inquisition that expelled all of the Jews in 1492. Here's an article from the History Channel that expounds on this more detailed. Definitely go check that out. Now, what I find interesting that paints a better picture is the book, The Persecution of Jews and Muslims of Portugal and the End of Religion Tolerance, Volume 69. And this book is registered in Harvard, so it's very creditable. Now, in this book, it gives us more of a detailed description of what happened to the Jews after they left Spain and shows that they stayed in Portugal until King Manuel I simply wanted them to go.
What?
So after the Jews couldn't pay their taxes, King Manuel I sold them into slavery. Let's check out what the book has to say. On page 120 it states, "Then there were those caught attempting to enter Portugal without paying the entrance tax. They were enslaved, so too were perhaps as many as 2,000 Jewish children who were seized from their parents and sent to the equatorial island of Saint Thomé." Now you know why they didn't teach you black history past the 1600s. But check this though. In the 15th century, Portugal became the first European nation to take significant part in the African slave trading. The Portuguese primarily acquired slaves for labor on Atlantic African islands plantations, on Atlantic African islands plantations, on Atlantic African islands plantations.
Hold on. So you telling me that the biblical Jews got exiled from Rome, went into Africa and parts of Spain, got exiled from Spain, went to Portugal, and then the Portuguese took them to the same place that the Atlantic slave trade happened?
I ain't never heard that the people that lives in Israel was in the Atlantic slave trade.
What?
Then who the people warring with Palestine right now? Like and follow for part 2.